Dear children, today we are going to discuss a poem called Travel. It was written by Edna St. Vincent Millay. Let us know some of the details of her. Edna St. Vincent Millay was born an American lyrical poet and playwright. She received the Pulitzer Prize for Poetry in 1923. She is the third woman to win the award for poetry and was also known for her feminist activism. She used the pseudonym Nancy Boyd for her prose work. The poet Richard Wilbur asserted she wrote some of the best sonnets of the century. Her other acclaimed works are A Few Figs from Thistles, Fatal Interview, and The King's Henchman. Now let us see this poem. Travel is a short three-stanza poem that is divided into sets of 4 lines. These sets of lines follow a rhyming pattern of ABAB, CBCB, DBDB. The poet has chosen to repeat the B rhyme throughout this piece in an effort to create a sense of unity and continuity throughout the poem. Let me read the first stanza. The railroad track is miles away, and the day is loud with voices speaking. Yet, there isn't a train goes by all day, but I hear its whistle shrieking. Here, the poem begins with the speaker describing a part of her everyday life that is not directly before her. The track is miles away from where she lives. The passing trains are unshakable, and the presence of the railroad track is a reminder of possibilities that are so close but still out of her reach. It means she could only listen to the noise of the train, but she was unable to see because the track is very far away. The first line describes the fact that these tracks are miles away. They are not something that she sets eyes on every day, but they do come into her thoughts more often. At the present moment, the speaker is in the middle of another noisy day of her life. She is expressing a sense of loud voices wherever she goes. The voices that surround her work in 2 different ways. First one is they are an irritant that she is unable to escape, and second, their volume and the fact that she is still able to hear the train as it goes by proves how important they are to her. The final 2 lines of this stanza describe this second fact quite eloquently. The speaker says that all the trains that go by, there is not one that she doesn't hear. It means she hears all the sounds of the trains. She is always able to pick out the whistling shrieking among the chaos of her everyday life. So, one important point of setting to note at this time is there is a railroad station near her, but only a track. There is nowhere for train to stop even if she could board it. It is always moving past her. Let us see second stanza. I will read for you. All night there isn't a train goes by, though the night is still for sleep and dreaming. But I see its cinders red on the sky, and hear its engine steaming. In the second stanza, the speaker continues to discuss the importance of this moving train to her everyday life. In the first stanza we see day. In the second stanza we see the night. It is night time at this point, and she is describing how once it gets dark, there isn't a train goes by. If it is night, she knows that no trains will be passing. But the trains are passing even at the night. Unfortunately for the speaker, this is not the case. Even though she says the night is still for sleep and dreaming, she sees in her mind's eye and in the dreams of her sleep the cinders red on the sky. Even when there is no train there to see, she can't help imagining its engine steaming and feeling the same way she does in its actual presence. In simple manner, even though it was in the night, she was hearing the noise of the trains. She knows exactly what it would sound, smell, and look like if she was directly before it. This is the meaning for the second stanza. Let us see third stanza. I will read for you. My heart is warm with the friends I make, and better friends I will not be knowing. Yet there isn't a train I would not take, no matter where it is going. In the final stanza, the speaker provides the reader with a few more clues as to why she has become so consumed with the sounds and sights of railroad. The first topic that speaker brings up in this section is warm. She feels towards her friends. She does not dislike her life. It is full of good friends that fulfill that part of her. The second line takes a step back from the first statement as she says that there are better friends out there that she doesn't know and will not be knowing because she cannot board a train. In the last two lines, the poet considers the fact that a reader will be curious about where the trains are going and where it is exactly what our narrator would like to end up. The speaker concludes this debate by stating that she doesn't care where the trains are going. She would get on any one of them without even considering the destination. Her greatest desire is to leave or to travel. So this is the meaning for the poem called Travel.